Welcome to another episode of the Man That Can Project podcast. Pumped for this one. This one is going to be an absolute banger. You know when you have an idea that pops into your head or a thought and you get extremely excited about it. You know, one, it could be a holiday coming up and you're just like, fuck, get me on the holiday. Two, it could be something that you're going to change in your life. It could be a business that you're going to start. It could be a relationship that you're going to leave. It could be catching up with a mate, right? Whatever it is, right? We all have these thoughts. And to get that pumped, and for me, the thought was based around environment. I've been speaking to a lot of you over the last couple of days, and one of the things that has been holding you back in your life is the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And this has played out a number of times in my life, and almost I feel potentially where I'm at in my own life at the moment. And I do want to quickly say one thing for people who are sitting there and going, or you find this frustrating to listen to. None of this is personal. A lot of what helps people make decisions around who they want to be around and the people that they choose to inspire or aspire to be like is aligned with the vision that you want for your life. It's got nothing to do with you feeling like you're better and or worse than anyone else. We like to think that that's the case. We like to think and tell ourselves that some people think they're better. And don't get me wrong, there are some idiots out there who do. But majority of people, give them the benefit of the doubt. They're just doing what they feel they need to do in order to achieve what they want from their life, right? If we can all start utilizing that as a baseline, it's a pretty good place to start. Before we dive into the episode, Strong Men of Value Academy. Like I said, January, there is going to be some big changes. And I guess the one that strikes for a lot of people is price. We are increasing the price. Or when I say we, I'm increasing the price come January. I've realized that, there's a balance between price and value. And for a long period of time, I wanted to have the academy to be affordable to everyone who wants to facilitate change. What I have observed over the last 18 months to 2 years is because it has been so affordable, people, it's a cup of coffee a day, not even. People aren't worrying if they aren't showing up for themselves. And one of the most important things about our academy, to me, is that we have people who want to belong to it, right? Want to be a part of the Man That Can Project Strong Man of Value Academy. And part of belonging is contribution, is showing up for yourself, is showing up for your mates and other members. If you're not doing that, you're really going to lack that sense of belonging. And, our focus on having you be the most mentally fit you can be and to have you be the most physically fit that you can be is something that we're going to be really pushing towards from 2023 onwards. And we know the value that's there. I've had countless men go, this is ridiculously cheap, man. I even had one guy say, it's so cheap that some people may undervalue it. And to me, I was like, good point. Everything that makes me, I really think about where my money is going, I give time to and attention to, and it helps me get better results. So that's happening. Come the start of January, to all the current members who are going, oh, fuck. You guys, as valued members, you're keeping the current price, so don't stress there. Now, let's dive into this. So the quote I wanted to start today's episode with is this. As much as people refuse to believe it, the company you keep does have an impact and influence on your choices. Many of us, or many of you, may be worried about distancing yourself from relationships in your life. And the question you may ask yourself is, how do I change the people that I'm around? And you can take that question in two ways. It's like, how do you literally change them? Like change how they are, how they think, how they act and behave? Or two, how do you change the people that you surround yourself by. And let me start by saying this. You can't change people. You may be good, but you don't have that much fucking power. I wish I've tried for years to try and change people, and I had to learn, or I had to accept along the way that I can't. People can only change themselves. So when I started to understand that, and I hope you understand this, is you have two choices. One, you can aim to aspire change in people by doing what you do, what inspires you. Show up as the best version of yourself. People will be watching. Some of those people will, be challenged by how you're showing up, right? Because it may cause them to look at themselves and make them feel like they're not doing enough, and they may not want anything to do with you. The flip side of that is there may be people who watch you do that and watch you change your own life, and they are inspired by that. They come to you and want to know how you did it. The second choice you have is change the people you are surrounding yourself with. Taking ownership for your life falls on you. The moment that you do that, right, it becomes so easy to get better results because you're not looking, who can I blame? I remember, what's a good example? Actually, go back to footy. I would blame my coaches for reasons why I wasn't getting picked in sides. Even if I wasn't getting picked in other sides, I would blame other players for playing poorly as to why I wasn't playing well. And it made it easy for me to justify to myself why I wasn't playing poorly, why I wasn't putting the work in. But knowing what I now know, I was just deflecting responsibility. If you deflect responsibility, don't expect to get good results. It's not possible. If you can accept responsibility, look, when the times are going great, you can honestly look yourself in the mirror and go, it's because of the work that I put in that I'm achieving the success that I'm achieving right now. But if you aren't getting the results, you've got to look in that same mirror and go, look, these results that I don't enjoy that I currently have in my life is a result of how I've been showing up, the actions that I've been putting in. What can I change? Right? The key question being, what can I change? So think about that. But let's go point one. If you're going to focus on inspiring change. Now, we have those people, we all have them. That one mate that you've been mates with for ages. And when you hang out with them, they're an absolute fucking top bloke. Have the best laughs, reminisce on old times. You know the drill. But when you leave them, you become frustrated because they make you feel like what you're doing in your life is not worthy. Or you may notice that the way you behave when you're around them almost feels like you're taking 10 steps back. We all have that. And if you do, you can say, look, I don't want to, you can say, I should stop hanging out with this person, or I want to continue with this person, but I would love them to change. I would love them to be a little bit more empowering. I would love them to be a little bit more supportive. I would love them to pull me up on when I drop my standards, whatever it looks like. So from that, if you're looking to inspire them to change, give yourself a deadline because as I said before, you can't make the change. Sometimes you can inspire it, but you can't make it. So if you're going to say, hey, look, this person drags me down. Sorry, I was just having a delicious sip of water. If this person drags me down and you've got, what are the upsides of being around this person? What are the downsides? And can I live with the downsides? If you can, don't worry about this. But if you can't, and you want to really try and strengthen your relationship, give yourself a deadline. You might say, okay, by the end of 2023, so that's, 15 months from now, I wouldn't recommend that long, but let's say 3 months' time, if I can see some improvements in our relationship and from my mate's mindset, I want to continue adding value to this person's life, and give yourself some, standards of what that would look like. How do you want to feel when you're around them? What conversations would you like to be having? Are they inspiring you? Okay? Because if they're, not making that change, then the question has to come, do you need to create that change for yourself? And I think, some things to be mindful of with your mates and maybe even yourself is the things that hold people back from change, right? A really common one is self-doubt. And self-doubt is, I guess, looking at a lack of confidence in oneself or your own abilities. Right? You don't believe you are worthy of change. I have mentioned this countless times. When I had mates who were succeeding, once again, I blamed where they came from. They had richer parents. They had a better opportunity. They, were smarter, whatever it was. And every time I justified that excuse, I was beating myself down because I was saying to myself, look, you don't have the ability to do what they're doing. You didn't have the leg up that they may have had in those areas. And on the flip side, I had a leg up in certain other areas that people didn't, but I would still justify why I was fucking that up. So when you understand that self-doubt is a reason why people can change, we can ask ourselves, and once again, if we're taking responsibility and we want to inspire our friends, how can we help build up their self-esteem, their confidence, and highlight their abilities? One thing in Australia, we're awesome at bringing each other down. We're fucking awesome. And majority of the time we're like, oh, I'm just joking, bro. You're a shit C word. And then it may offend someone. We go, oh, just joking, man. Just joking. But we never highlight things that our mates do well. We never go, man, like maybe if it's in sport, we do, geez, you're awesome at scoring tries or whatever on the footy field. But how often do you go to your mates, mate, you listen so incredibly well. You ask amazing questions. When I'm around you, I feel like I have your full attention and I feel like I can literally talk to you about anything. You're unbelievable at that. I would love to learn how you do that. Mate, you're an awesome father. The attention that you give your wife, the attention that you give your children inspires me, and I aspire to be like you when I have a family. Right? We all have mates who do incredible stuff. And often when people are in their zone of genius, they forget to recognize their own genius. So how often are you letting your mates know how brilliant you think some of their abilities are, how they show up, some of their skills, right? When you let people know that, it builds up their self-esteem, it builds up their confidence, and the more confident you are, the more likely you are to create change, right? And if we're looking to inspire others and help others aspire to be better, that is an important part in I guess, mateship. The next point, I guess, from that is, which is holding people back from change, is they don't know the first step for change. So whether it's they're wanting to improve their health, your mates, or you're wanting to improve your relationship or your finances, many don't know the first step. And when we're in a position of overwhelm, we're not very likely to take action. Think about this. When was the last time you felt overwhelmed? What did you do in that moment? I guarantee you probably sat there, you started doing a million different things, and then you went to bed feeling overwhelmed, right? And overwhelmed to me is like when you just can't get a clear focus or thought. So if you can work out what the first steps would be, and this is how you could break it down for yourself, and this is how you can help a mate work out what that first step is. What is the next step that has to happen? And this is a simple question. What is the next step that has to happen in order for you to make progress towards your goal? So for someone who's like, oh man, I want to drop 10 kilos. Okay. So what do you feel the first step is in order for you to achieve that? Someone's like, oh, get a personal trainer or get a gym membership. Before that, do you feel like that really is the first step? Yes. Okay, well, what about actually scheduling time in your diary? Let's make that your first step. Pull out your phone right now. Every morning, 6 a.m., let's book in that you're going to go to the gym. Tell people about it. And then let's get you a PT saying, hey, I want to train at 6 a.m. every day. The third thing that holds people back from change is their environment. And this will lead me to, I guess, another key point that I want to talk about next, which is changing the people around you. But many people are in an environment that doesn't support your drive, or may not support your ambition, or may not even support what specifically it is that you want to do. For me personally, running a podcast, running an online business, and also our workshops, etc., a lot of people don't really understand how it all works. But then I know, I've got plenty of people in my network who also run online businesses and, live location free, run podcasts. So if I try to share the challenges that I'm experiencing maybe with the podcast or various other things that I would like to change in my life, some people won't get it. And that's completely okay. But I personally need to be aware that in order to create change and a positive change, I need to find a great environment that understands what I am going through or who I want to become and what I want to achieve. So moving on to that, if you feel like that deadline trickles over and the people that you were trying to inspire or have them aspire to be better for themselves aren't creating that change, you can say, okay, that deadline's passed. I might completely cut this person off. I might just distance myself from that person and then really focus my time on other people who are going to make me feel better. And the next question you may ask yourself is, how do I change who I'm around? So where I would start is, before you do any networking, is get clear on the traits and characteristics of the people you would like to be around. Okay, for me, I'll give you an example of this. I love being around entrepreneurial, fitness, health-focused people who are continuing to challenge themselves. That inspires the absolute hell out of me. People like, I'm watching a guy on Instagram at the moment, Ned Brockman, and hopefully I'll get him on the podcast once he's finished, but he's running across Australia. This guy's grit, determination, the reason why he is doing it, inspires the shit out of me. When I watch his story, when I watch what he is putting himself through, I'm like, man, I can get so much more out of myself. I want to do more. I want to be better. And that is what inspiration is. So figure out the people who inspire you. What are some of their traits? What are some of their characteristics and behaviors that really inspire you? And can you implement them into your life and how you're showing up, the actions that you're taking? Think about where those people hang out, right? So many podcasters, or a lot of the work that I do online, and personally I love catching up with people face to face and also online. We've got an epic community, but a lot of people who live, run businesses like I do and also podcasts are in Bali, like a fuckload are, and also in the States. I don't know, there are people in Australia, but I also know there's some people who run big companies doing what I do over there. And for me, it's like, okay, I want to be over there hanging out with them because I know just being in their presence, I'm going to pick up so much that is going to help me achieve more, going to help me deliver service, help me achieve the goals that I want to achieve. So think about where those people are and ask yourself, can I spend time there? Can I live there? How do I get around those people? The final point on changing the people around you is, who do you need to become to be around them? And if you're sitting there and thinking, I don't want to change, I don't want to lose who I am, man, to become someone just to hang around people who have what I want, think about what you just asked yourself. If you're wanting to hang around people who have what you want, it's going to require you to change. It's going to require you to grow. Otherwise, you would already have that. You would already be with those people. You would be hanging around them. You would have the lifestyle that they have, that you aspire to have. So asking yourself who you need to become is the best possible question. You're going to start creating some direction for yourself around how you change the people around you. Now, once you've established that, start getting to work. And often, for me, I know firsthand those people didn't want to hang out with me. I didn't have much value to give them that they hadn't already or weren't already getting from other relationships in their life. So I had to work on myself more to be able to add value in a way that those people that I aspired to be like wanted to hang around me, wanted to know me. Okay, so make yourself valuable. So think about it like this: how to change the people around you, right? As I said, there are two choices. You can aim to inspire change. Like I said, you can't make people change, but you can do what you can to inspire people. And if they are inspired and do look to change, you've done an amazing job. But that's not your responsibility, nor it should be. It's more so just so you can give yourself, I guess, a deadline to know that if you do want to distance yourself from those relationships, you can go, look, I did everything within my power to keep our relationship together and to maintain our friendship, but we were just going in different directions, and that is okay. You then get to make that decision. The next step from that is, how do you change the environment that you're in so that you can be around more like-minded people? And we've covered all of that. So what are you going to do? You can listen to all the podcasts that I put out. You can listen to plenty of other people, but you're the only one who can take time to reflect on where you're at in your life, what the relationships are like, and what you need to change. That falls on you. You need to make a decision. So what step can you take today to be better for tomorrow? That is what you need to focus on. If you got value from this episode, share it on your socials, tag the Man That Can Project, leave a review. Those reviews that you leave show other men or other people in general who are scrolling, looking for a podcast that is value-packed, to go, hey, people are getting value from this. So it means a bucket load when you do take the time to do that. So thank you guys for tuning in. Come back on Monday for our next guest episode.